Moviesucktastic is a podcast about bad movies and the people that love them. But it's more than just a podcast, it's also an online presence. If you want to know more about Moviesucktastic or want to become a part of Moviesucktastic, you can find us on Facebook, you can find us on Twitter at Moviesucktastic, you can find our blog at boothreviews.blogspot.com, or if you want to give your own reviews that we might use on the show, you can go to reviews.moviesucktastic.com and check out our own little lunch.com community for Moviesucktastic. Check us out and become a part of the show, because the only thing more fun than a bad movie is sharing it.
You're listening to Moviesucktastic.
You can all go fuck yourselves.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live! Fuck it! Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live! Fucking thing sucks!
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hello.
Welcome. Oh, hi, Joy.
Oh, hi, Scott.
Welcome to round 2 or episode. We're
tired.
Welcome to Moviesucktastic. We're pulling double shifts tonight, recording our Oscar coverage, and this is our first official Oscar nominee review. The Best Picture nominated film,
Hell or High Water. Yeah, and we're pulling double duty, not just tonight too. I mean, this is like for the next month.
Yeah, double episodes every week up until the Oscars.
And this is a tradition that we now do. This is our 3rd year doing it, I believe. And
third year of successfully doing it. I know just past years we talked about it. It's like, couldn't make it through them all. But
right. And then this year we do plan on covering the Oscars together.
I need to get confirmation on that, because the Oscars do fall on the same weekend as my anniversary weekend this year.
Right. So
I might not be available. I don't know yet. I'm seeing what's happening.
Well, no, and that's fine. We plan on doing it. We always plan on doing it. If it doesn't get done, it doesn't get done. And I do like, when
if
Scott,
I can't make it, maybe we can get Gino Cuddy to fill in for me.
Yeah, maybe. Well, sure. If I can get him drunk and puking on camera, that'd be fine. Otherwise, I'm not interested. No, but seriously, I'm not opposed to doing the Oscars like we do our show every week, where you Skype in, or we Skype in together, and we do it that way. I'm fine with that. If you can't get to my house, I'm totally fine with doing it that way,
right.
if that's how we end up doing it.
My availability for the Oscar night is currently tentative.
Okay.
That's all.
You need to get rid of that anniversary. Get going with the wedding one. Like, make that the new anniversary.
Yeah, because then we can kind of gloss over that one, because then we'll have another different one.
Because then we can, we can do the Oscars every year. It's getting in the way.
That's the only reason I proposed.
You bastard.
Anyway.
Anyhow.
Yes.
So we're reviewing Hell or High Water, directed by David Mackenzie, written by
David Mackenzie. Sorry, I'm talking over you. Keep going.
No, it's okay. Directed by David Mackenzie, written by Taylor Sheridan. It's original story, so it's up for the best adapted, or the best original screenplay. And Jeff Bridges is nominated for Best Supporting Actor, and that's kind of where it ends with Hell or High Water as far as nominations. Now, as far as let's say, hypothetically, this wins Best Picture, it will be the only Best Picture with the least amount of money made ever. Now, the record right now is held by The Hurt Locker, which I believe only made like a couple of $1 million.
Wasn't widely released.
Correct, and neither was this one. This made $27,000. Oh no, I'm sorry, $27 million. Forget it. Forget I said it. It just, the way it was done, it looked like 27,000, but it is 27 million. Still, did not make a lot of money at all. $12 million is what it cost to make the film. Opening weekend, 621,000 on 32 in 32 theaters. When it went wide, it only went wide in 909 theaters. But this film has been out since August, and the fact that it still has that staying power where it was remembered to be nominated, that's something, because movies don't usually get remembered that far back. They really don't. There are a lot of good films that came out during the year that, they submit their films to be nominated, but when the voters move down the line, it's just, the list is so long. They just kind of look at the films that just came out in the last 2 months, 3 months. It's usually how it goes. So it's impressive that this film came out months ago, and it was remembered as one of the best films this year, which I really like this movie.
Right.
And I liked what it stood for, too.
Right. Yeah, we're definitely going to get into that. Now, David Mackenzie as a director, I'm very unfamiliar with. I have not seen any of his previous films, so I really don't have anything background to go on. The writer, Taylor Sheridan, is actor turned screenwriter, so he doesn't really have many writing items under his belt either. He wrote Cesario, which came out the previous year, which was very well received.
Okay.
And he's the actor-wise, I recognize him as the deputy from Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, that's a show I never got into watching.
I was dragged into it. I wasn't interested. Damn good show. Watched the whole series. He's in it for a certain number of seasons. I don't want to ruin that for you.
Oh, you've ruined it already.
You
can't say shit like that to us. Come on. What's wrong with you? I know exactly what's going on now.
Now, so Hell or High Water, the IMDb plot given is: a divorced father and his ex-con older brother resort to a desperate scheme in order to save their family's ranch in West Texas. Now, it's
a little more complicated than that.
That's factual, but not. It doesn't tell you the whole story, which I'm cool with. I went to the film blind. I didn't look anything up on it.
The only thing I knew was that they robbed banks, and that the ranch was going to be foreclosed on. That's all I knew.
Didn't even know that. I went totally blind. And this is right up front. Every time we review, I want to start doing a checklist, and I don't have the checklist written out yet, but I do know the first thing I want to talk about when we talk about films, when we talk about love, is Hell is the title of the film.
Okay.
All right. So as far as the film goes, the title, right alone, Hell or High Water. What are your feelings on the title?
It's not a very good title, considering... Okay.
No, I'm listening.
I know the face that you made.
No, I didn't make a face. I don't know what you're talking about.
I saw the face. Hell or High Water, it's a catchy title, but as far as what goes on in the film, it has nothing to do with the movie except for the one little plot point near the end. That's it.
I disagree totally, sir. Pardon me. I disagree totally. Hell or High Water specifically has two. It's a double entendre title.
Okay.
And that's why I like it. Because Hell or High Water, first of all, let me move my mic down there. As more familiar is the phrase "come hell or high water," which means by any means necessary, not letting anything get in your way.
Okay. You know what? I didn't know that's what it meant. So I changed my stance. It's a great fucking title then.
Here's something else you may have overlooked, is that it is also a term used for contracts in which the person that is paying on the contract must pay no matter what happens, come hell or high water.
Oh.
So considering
like
hell or high water mortgage,
the major plot point in the film, it fits.
Right. So it's got that double entendre there, and it kind of pushes that idea of that no matter what happens, it's all these different not necessarily characters, but all these different elements in the film are non-negotiable. They're all moving towards whatever they want, regardless.
Okay.
And so I love the title of this film. I think it's one of the best titles this year.
I think we can both agree that the poster blows. The giant Jeff Bridges head in the I mean, come on. Did they really need giant Jeff Bridges?
This is God. This is God. What are you guys doing down there with the bench?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's just soccer. I mean, the Aztecs kicked around a skull, right? I really like Jeff Bridges in this movie. I know why he got nominated. I mean, personally, I go Michael Shannon for Nocturnal Animals, but I haven't seen all the films yet. But right now, that's my favorite. But I would say, as of right now, because those are the only two movies I've seen for that category, Michael Shannon, then Jeff Bridges right under him. Because Jeff Bridges, although the character that he portrays, his persona, it's been in other films. Most namely, like True Grit, and the one he won the Oscar for was What was the movie he won the Oscar for?
Who?
Jeff Bridges.
King Kong, 76.
It began with I'll tell you.
Tron.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. No, stop it.
Did he win for True Grit? I don't. When did he win his best Oscar?
No, he won his Oscar for, and I said it last episode, Crazy Heart, and it just.
Oh, Crazy! That's right. Yeah.
He played like a country singer, alcoholic. So, yes, I mean it's basically this character is a combination of Rooster and his character from Crazy Heart. And it's kind of like this mellower character right in the middle. This little wisecracking. He's got all these quips and one-liners, and he's, real quick as far as his comebacks go. His quips are excellent. It just, when he's talking to his partner and they're holed up in the hotel, and he goes, when I'm gone and you're standing over my grave, it's going to be my insults that you're going to remember me fondly of. And he truly believes that, Jeff Bridges' character. He believes that, I'm hard on you, but, I'm just poking fun. This is just, quote unquote, to do a Donald Trump, it's locker room talk.
Locker room talk.
Locker room talk.
Now,
yes.
Since you mentioned him best actor, let's just talk about the acting first.
Best supporting. Yes.
All right. Best supporting. But I mean, as far as the acting in the film,
top notch,
all around, excellent performances,
and by everyone, even the smallest little parts were done really well.
Ben Foster and Chris Pine are great, and acting in this case, there's a lot of understated acting.
Yeah.
which is a lot harder. Like, you know, sometimes you get all this Oscar talk for people that are like they're playing characters that are they're emoting, and there's all this emotion and tears, and you know, but this is a lot of where everybody's like, all these characters are playing everything close to the vest. They're hiding in their emotions. Acting as a character that's hiding their emotion and still conveying that emotion is a little harder.
Yeah.
And there is a subtlety to every performance in this film. Even Jeff Bridges, who is kind of this comical, almost cliche character, but it's just part of it. I mean, he doesn't become the cliche. He just shows that he's a part of that, or like he's like the origin of the cliche. But it's great acting all around.
Yeah.
Especially Ben Foster.
I've always liked Ben Foster. One of the
Yeah.
first things I ever saw him in was Alpha Dog. I mean, I'm sure I've seen him in other things before that, but I really took notice of him in Alpha Dog. You should see Alpha Dog. Really good. What's his face? Nick Cassavetes? His son.
Yeah, Cassavetes.
Directed that.
Okay. Stop tapping your desk, goddammit. Personally, I think his best performance ever was Spacker Dave.
What? What is that?
In The Punisher.
Oh.
I think
He's a fucking tweaker in that movie.
Yeah, every performance he's given after that is like, I gotta top Spacker Dave. Not yet. Close. He came very close with this one.
Let's see. Oh, let me see. Oh, yeah, that's right. He was in 3:10 to Yuma.
And he's the creepy guy in 30 Days a Night in the jail.
That's right.
Oh,
which he did. He did after Alpha Dog.
Right. But no, he's just done some great shit. Really has.
That's right. Spacker Dave and the Punisher. That technically that's the first thing I ever saw him in. Although he was in 11-14. He was the one fucking like high, drunk, wasted dude in the van.
I barely remember that.
In 11-14.
It's been a while since I've seen that. Yeah.
Well, you know what it was? He was in that. I saw his other stuff and saw 11-14 much later. He was also in a film called Big Trouble. He played Tim Allen's son.
That was written by Dave, what's his name? Dave Barry.
Right, and that film was supposed to come out September of 2001.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, there's a plane scene in that movie where there's a bomb on it. They were like, we can't show this movie. So they actually pushed that back months and months. I think it ended up coming out spring or summer of 2002. Yeah, it came out April.
The carpet.
April of 2002, but its original release day, you're right, and it is Dave Barry, the novel. Robert Ramsey wrote the screenplay. It was originally supposed to come out in like September or October of 2001. They got scared.
Well, don't forget when the first Trade Center bombing, the minor one occurred. That was when they Top Dog was supposed to come out with Chuck Norris.
Oh, right.
And they yanked that from the theaters. I remember we actually were going to show it. And like, oh, we can't show it now.
Oh,
because,
you know what else was yanked from the theaters for 2001 for September 11th? The Schwarzenegger film Collateral Damage.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They pulled that one too.
Which is weird because he was fighting terrorism. So why would you pull that?
They didn't even want a mention of it. They didn't even want it mentioned. They were like, you know what? We spent, I don't know, $100 million on this. Why take a chance? Yeah, Collateral Damage. 2002. Came out February of 2002. After his family is killed by a terrorist attack, a firefighter goes in search of the one responsible. Yeah, I probably would have pulled that one too. Directed by Andrew Davis. Oh God, he did Under Siege and The Fugitive and The Guardian. Yeah, they spent a lot of money on that movie. They're like, yeah, we definitely gotta try and make our money back. It's funny. So anyway, yeah, Ben Foster. Oh, you know what movie I liked him in too?
What?
It was a January release. We watched it. We both ended up liking it. Pandorum.
Oh yeah, Pandorum. That was an interesting little sci-fi film. I enjoyed that.
The only
Yeah.
thing that I didn't, and I haven't really visited it again, the only thing that really got to me with that was that he whispered a lot. When there was no imminent danger, it was like, okay, are you whispering because you're afraid something's going to hit? It's like, no, you're whispering because this is the character you're...
But they're all playing crazy in the film too.
Yeah.
A lot of them are.
So,
yeah.
I mean, I got over it, but I actually should revisit it to see if that still bothers me.
Now, Hell or High Water, I feel could be considered Western noir,
Okay.
which is not necessarily. It's nothing new. I think one of my favorite Western noir films ever is Bad Day at Black Rock. Still,
Okay.
Spencer Tracy is the one-armed guy that comes into town, and the Western noirs, the good ones, really just deal with the whole idea of this expanse, the vast expanse of space, the fields, the plains, and this film really, it's the Texas, which the film wasn't filmed in, by the way, is really a character in the film. The cinematography in this movie blew me away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you didn't.
Well, I wouldn't say blew me away. I mean, well, okay. Don't get me wrong. I felt it was very good, but it's not one of those films that would like stick out in my mind. It's like, whoa, cinematography blew me away. I wouldn't just go so far as to say that. I think the way they put things on screen, like when they're driving down the highway,
That's cinematography.
Can I finish?
I'm just saying. When you say the way they put things on the screen, it's like that's kind of what I'm saying.
Can I finish?
Yeah. No, by all means, sir. Please.
Okay. In certain scenes, the way they put things on screen when they're driving by, and you see a big billboard that says "in debt," I think that worked very well.
Well,
things like that.
It's more than just a billboard in debt, though, too.
No. I get that.
I mean, but like these again, like when they're driving on the road, it's these vast empty fields, almost abandoned. But then you've got oil rigs out in the background. Then these debt billboards, and what are the oil? And the oil derricks in the background are kind of like sucking the wealth out of this land, which is essentially what the implication is of the film as a whole.
Sure, and I got that. I wouldn't give cinematography
just for example,
so
opening
much
shot
credit
of the
for
film.
it. Yeah, okay.
Okay, it's one tracking shot. It goes the side of this building. We just see a white wall. It's got some graffiti that says 3 tours in Iraq, no bailout for these people.
Right. Yeah, I saw
which
that.
is a little, maybe a slight hit over the head, but it's there. Pan away, you keep pan slowly by the building. We follow this woman that's walking. The camera pans by what looks like a drive-through. We kind of realize it's the bank, even though we don't see any bank signs. And what's framed in the drive-through as she walks through, the camera frames perfectly, is the 3 crosses of what looks like a church.
Right. Okay.
Then as she walks into the building, the camera pans past this religion. All right, so we've got the religion framed in the drive-through of a bank. So there's some imagery there for you there: church, bank, money, God.
Yep.
And as the camera angles to the side and she goes to the doorway, 2 masked men and guns take her into the bank, while behind them is Goodyear across the top of the building.
Oh, the Goodyear tires? Sure.
Yeah, but obviously an alternate meaning there, or an ironic one almost. There's everything that happens in the background, everything that's framing, none of this is accidental or left to chance. Everything is meticulous. When the two brothers are sitting on the porch, and there's that rust, and the background is a rusted septic tank. Like that's the focal point of the shot. That's there for a reason. Every shot of this film, almost every shot of this film, is just giving us this landscape of a state, a country, a people just being sucked dry. This and then when they parallel that between Vegas, it's just fucking. I was blown away by it. I just thought it was very masterfully done. It wasn't just somebody filming an action film or like a slow burn thriller or whatever what you want to call it. They were actually, everything was meticulously planned and framed, and I really like that.
Right. No, and agree. I agree with the cinematography is excellent. You went a little extra step further. You noticed a few more things than I did as far as like things like framing in those certain scenes, and I applaud you for noticing it. I still don't think it blew me away so much that I thought it was very well done. It's interesting that you mentioned the Vegas stuff. When they walk in there, the first thing, because I actually watched this with Mare. I said, because I came home not late from work last night because I was out late, but I came home around 8-ish, and I said, listen, I got to watch a movie for tomorrow night. Do you want to watch it with me? And I told her what the movie was, and she said, okay. I said, listen, if you get tired, go to bed. You can finish watching it on your own. She stayed up the whole thing, through the whole thing. She enjoyed it as much as I did. When they go into Vegas, after they rob a couple of banks, or three if you count his
I said Vegas, but it's not Vegas. It's a
yeah. It's
I apologize, that's my mistake, and we ran with it. It's an Indian casino,
right?
Which again, even just the placement of the Indian casino, there's again the imagery is still there. Everything in this film. I'm sorry to harp on that, but I just
no, it's okay. It's okay. So anyway, they're walking in there and they cash in all the money that they stole. And she starts freaking out. And I'm like, whoa, just calm down. And she's like, she starts to get this anxiety about what's going to happen. I go, listen, they're laundering this money. It's like I knew it immediately. She's like, what are you talking about? I go, they're going to trade it in for chips. They're going to gamble a little bit. And then they're going to cash it in and get all new bills. And she's like, it's like that blew her away. That I was like, yeah. I go, believe me, they're not dumb. They didn't do all this shit to just blow it all away and gamble it. I go, there's a reason why they're in there. They went in to change those dollar bills or those bills for completely new ones.
Right.
And it becomes untraceable. Because actually, as a matter of fact, they didn't even trade it for bills. They traded it for a check, which they will give to the bank, which will give them new bills. Or they'll just keep their virtual money anyway. Mm-hmm. So, I thought that was brilliant. I was like, that's pretty fucking smart. It's like, you stole all this money. How do you launder it? You don't know anybody. You go to the casino, you cash it in. You gamble maybe $1,000 or $2,000. But his brother actually ended up coming back with even more money.
Oh, well, because he's good at blackjack. Well, poker. Sorry, he's playing poker.
Apparently, he's a Comanche.
Great dialogue in the film. Again,
yes,
minimalist where it needs to be. The film does not explain everything to you outright. It leaves it. You discover as the film goes. There is one part in the film that is my favorite part, and it's the one part I hate.
Oh, really?
Jeff Bridges has his partner, Alfonso or Adolfo. What was his name again?
It was
Alberto.
No, it was Alfonso.
No, Alberto.
Was it Alberto?
It was Alberto. I just looked it up. It's Alberto.
Fine.
So he's the half Mexican, half Indian guy that he keeps picking on during the whole thing.
Right.
And they got a part where now you got me saying Alfonso. Alberto goes on this little mini rant about how
The bank,
Well, no. He doesn't.
he
Start
goes
off
back
there.
like a couple 150 years.
No, even farther. He's talking about them living in caves.
Oh, right. Yeah, he does.
And then
do that.
then someone came and stole the land from them, and it goes this whole cycle. And then, but then you guys, you guys had your own place until somebody came and took it from you and killed a bunch of you, and then you came here, and then you took it from us, but then, and he does the whole progression. He's setting it up, the whole fact that there's always a group that comes and
takes
exploits the indigenous people, and then he gets to, and it works great, but there's one line too many. It's great, and you know where it's going. Like halfway through, like, I see where this is going. We're all with you, and he gets to the point where you just stop and go, okay, we've made the point. He has to give that last line and point
to the bank.
Yeah, I'm trying to say that part.
Sorry.
Which is he underlined, like, there's one line too many. It was almost like, all right, and for the stupid people in the audience, no, don't do that. You're better than that. So that line, like, almost pissed me off, because, like, you didn't need that. It was, like, perfect right where it was. So, but that's how good this film is. Like that. That's the kind of thing you expect in a film. It's like, yeah, well, they have to explain it. This film was so good up to that point of not going out of its way to try to explain stuff to you, but let you discover it through natural sounding dialogue, that one part was a nice little soliloquy from a character that doesn't talk much in the film. That last line ruined it for me. But that's the only flaw in this film for me.
Yeah, it's interesting because I watched, because what we have on in the background, so hopefully we don't get flagged, we can upload this fucking video, is we have interviews with all the actors, and they show clips from the movie and whatnot. Well, I watched one of the interviews, and Chris Pine, he went as so much as to say that he received the script and he was hell-bent on making this movie. Like, he went after the writer and the director and said, I want to be in this film.
It's a great, yeah.
They said that the part of Chris Pine's brother was specifically written for Ben Foster.
Uh-huh.
So, and they had worked on a movie together called The Finest Hours, which is like a not a submarine movie, but it's like out in the middle of the ocean, kind of.
That's the one where the boat gets cut in half.
I don't know, but yeah, it's out in the middle of the ocean.
That's the one where the boat gets cut in half. I'm almost positive.
I didn't see the movie. It came out only a couple of years ago.
That I'm gonna look.
No, actually, I think it came out in 2016.
I think it was last year.
Anyway, he went so far as to say that he got the script, and he said for the first time ever, he read a script that he did not want to change anything, because he says, as an actor, you always want to change maybe a line here, a line there, or if it's not well written, you want to change a lot. And Ben Foster said the same thing. He goes, a lot of the movies that I go into, he says a lot of them are completely overwritten, and you want to change like 40% of what your written dialogue is. He goes, it's like, because he says a look or a mannerism can completely take care of like 10 lines of dialogue.
Right. Exactly.
So he said both of them basically agreed that this was a perfect script. They said there's nothing that they would have wanted to change. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was really interesting. Yeah,
and I'm right. The Finest Hours is the one where the boat gets cut in half.
Okay. I think the tagline is like 24 survivors, 12 spots, or some shit like that.
32 survivors, room for 12.
I think that's a Disney movie, too.
I don't know about that.
I want to say that's a Disney movie.
Definitely not a cartoon.
Not a cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was 2016. No nominations for that.
No.
No, the dialogue in this film, is perfect, and the acting, and these are actors that understand that too. Like they work with that. Now, this is where I go on IMDb and I'm like, let me see what people are posting in the message groups. It's don't do that.
The Finest Hours is a Disney movie.
So don't read the IMDb message groups.
Yeah, why do you do that? Why do you torture yourself?
Because I'm a glutton for punishment. And if you go through and you skim, you can find at least 3 posts of people that are like, oh, so banks are the bad guys because they lend people money? Shut the fuck up. Obviously, you don't even have a clue as to the predatory. I mean, the background of the film is predatory mortgage loans, and it's hard to believe that just coming out of the recession caused by predatory mortgage loans, that there are still people out there saying, "Hey, what's so bad about giving someone a mortgage?"
Right.
Fuck you, fuck you, especially reverse mortgages.
Yeah, I'm looking at the message boards, and you got things like the waitress he tips, the best line in the movie, what do you think would have happened next, and oh, sorry.
Zenheit.
Thank you. The America Trump is speaking to.
Yeah.
I have to actually look at the best line in the movie. What does this guy says? Are you interested in hearing about these robberies, or are you just going to sit there and let the Alzheimer's run its course?
But there are a lot of great lines. You know what?
That was early
the whole
in the
relationship.
film, too.
Sorry, what?
That was very early in the movie.
Yeah, very early. But the relationship between Jeff Bridges and what's the actor that plays Alberto, Gil Birmingham, it reminded me a lot of Breaking Bad.
Oh, yeah, sure.
They really have that almost, except that Jeff Bridges isn't like this overblown, braggadocious character like I forget the character's name in Breaking Bad. It's been a while. The DEA agent, but he has a Mexican friend, and he's always making Mexican jokes. But with him, it's more like an ego thing. Where Jeff Bridges, it's almost just like a casual that kind of Southern drawl, and he's just needling him as he puts it. So but it kept reminding me of that just because it was there. There's not the first show to do it, but for some reason this really reminded me of that. Probably because it had a lot of Mexican stuff involved.
Yeah, probably.
Sorry, I just yeah, but
now you got me looking at these fucking forums.
Yeah, it's horrible too, and I mean, not to get political stuff too, but I just remember the first time I ever heard reverse mortgage, and my first instinct was, okay, what's the scam?
Yeah.
Seriously, and and this is something too where this is an intelligent film because they kind of mention it, and there's one point where they address it kind of straightly, and again, great way they put it in the dialogue to bring to explain what the problem is with it, but it's like, are you not paying attention? And also, this film, these aren't heroes per se. This isn't a black and white, good guys win, the bad guys lose type of film. Most Western noirs aren't.
True.
Most noir films aren't. Usually they follow the bad guy, and it's the guy you're kind of half rooting for. So even if they do come to a bad end, noir films typically aren't that. Good noir films aren't typically that kind of cut and dry black and white, and this film definitely isn't.
Yeah.
You're not really rooting for any character. Well, maybe some more than others.
Well,
but,
yeah, and no spoilers here, but the way the film ends, or the way one part of the film ends, you felt it was necessary, but you still, in the back of my head, I'm like, oh man. But
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like it was set up, or not to give anything away. I'll just leave it alone.
Just stop.
Yeah.
Just stop.
It just it's set up that way.
It's you actually you end up liking all of the characters because they're human, they're people.
Right.
And yeah, so it's a complicated film. It takes a complicated subject and gives us this kind of just snapshot of the end result of all this shit, and with the backdrop of a dying America. Yeah. And not just whether it's the country itself or the ideal, it's there.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's not heavy-handed. It's like it's not the film isn't. This isn't a film that's trying to tell you this is wrong, this is right. This is just the story. There are no excuses made.
None. There really isn't.
Exactly. And that's what these people lose. Like, they see one thing that doesn't fall in line with their ideology, and they start just getting bitchy and it's 2 a.m. I'm going to go on IMDb and complain about this shit because how dare they say that banks are evil just because they have money. Shut the fuck up. Read a book. Think. That's all.
That's right.
I gotta tell you,
Question
just like-
authority.
but I mean, but that's not all the film is either. I mean, there's some great action sequences, great humor involved.
Yeah, there's not one part in the film where I was like, okay, this is kind of slow, or it's dragging, or I'm bored. Not one part in this film. The movie moves smoothly.
I love how they kind of portray the whole idea of Texas, where everybody has a gun.
Yeah.
And not in a silly way, just in a matter of fact way. Like they come out of the one bank.
It's like, you got a gun on you? Of course I do.
I'm talking about the last one.
Well, okay.
When they leave the bank.
Yeah.
Just like all of a sudden.
And I lean over to Marielle and I go, this is what everyone... I go, okay, you see what happened? That's exactly what would happen. All of these people that say, well, if there was a gun... If someone was in that situation and a gun was present, this would have never happened. I'm like, no. Do you see what happened in the movie? That's exactly what would have happened. I go, yeah. They want to say that, yeah, if a gun was around, then this would have never happened. It's like, no. What you see on the in this movie is exactly how that would have went down. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah.
But I mean, I just want to go back to the cinematography just very briefly.
Sure.
Again, this is a film that is beautifully shot.
Very well done.
But a lot of the beautiful shots are of very stark and sometimes even depressing / barren landscapes.
Yeah, it's very muted, I think is a good word, to describe some of the locales that they use. And it's that way for a reason. They're portraying a message. They're showing you visually just how depressed and just how downtrodden that part of West Texas is. There's a lot of people in a real bad way in that area, and it just really puts forth why they did what they did to try and provide a better life in some way.
And again, just highlighting the pockets of wealth. Again, barren fields where people can't even like run a shop or whatever, but you've got these oil derricks pumping out wealth by the gallon.
One of my favorite lines in the movie. This might actually be my favorite line in the movie.
I know your favorite line is, "What don't you want?"
That was a great part in the film. No. What don't you want?
I would go to that restaurant every goddamn day.
Yeah. You either don't want the green beans or the corn.
Don't ruin it. I was just let it go there. That's a great scene.
It is a great scene. But one of my favorite lines in the movie is from Jeff Bridges when they're in the bank, after the second bank or the third bank is robbed. And Jeff Bridges is talking to the girl, and then he gets up and he just sees this this guy in a suit, kind of portly. He goes, well,
oh yeah.
He goes, there's a guy that'll foreclose on a mortgage, and he just walks right over to him. Because I'm going to ask this guy some questions. There's a guy that'll foreclose on a mortgage.
I think the exact line that looks like a guy. That looks like the kind of man that would foreclose on a home. I think it was something like that. I didn't write it down, but yeah, that was a great line.
You're probably right. I thought it was mortgage, but yes, it could be.
Wrong, but
oh my god! But it's.
Yeah, they're not supposed to hear. Now I wish I'd gotten the exact phrasing, but yeah, that was a great. Again, this film is memorable dialogue. It's so memorable that I can't remember the exact words. Right? It's.
Well, another line that I liked is when Chris Pine, he tells his brother Ben Foster in the film, he says, "I need you sober." He goes, "Who gets drunk on beer?"
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I mean,
Southern wisdom.
It's just he drinks beer through the whole film. It's like, no, he's clear-headed. It's fucking beer. It's practically water.
Yeah, and honestly, so far I know I haven't seen the other film. Well, I haven't seen any of the other films yet up for Best Original Script, but God, you can tell why this film was nominated for Best Screenplay and how it made it for Best Picture. It is just a well-crafted film.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
It is not just a bank heist movie. I saw some people like, "Oh, does it remind you of The Town?" I says, Don't even. The town, that's a totally different fucking animal. Again, this is probably one of the best Western noirs I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, no, agreed.
Yeah, just bar none. It's really having this being the first original screenplay I watched for the Oscars. There's some stiff competition already.
Oh yeah, of
That's
course.
it. Dialogue alone, this film is nailed it.
Unfortunately,
unfortunately, it's not going to win Best Picture, but it's a great movie.
It's not going to win original screenplay either. Unfortunately,
don't do that to me.
We haven't seen any of the other films,
I
already know that it's not going to go to this movie. It just like the way Nightcrawler didn't win when it should have. This is not going to win either.
Yeah.
Just like the way Nocturnal Animals wasn't even nominated for Adapted when it should have been.
I'm feeling very positive about the Oscars this year. Stop ruining for me.
So, yeah, I mean, take Arrival out of Adapted and put Nocturnal Animals in. Still doesn't win, but it doesn't get the recognition it deserves.
Right.
So, but anyway.
Ooh, pardon me.
We should rate this.
Oh, yeah, we do that.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, and I'm going to work on that checklist for you. I think we should have like a 5-point thing on, like, I really want to talk more about the title of each film, because that's something we always go back to, especially me. And there's some good and some bad titles this year.
Yeah.
And again, remember, going back, Gravity. Only thing I liked about that film was the title.
Yes, I know.
And I don't often like one-word titles, but I thought that worked. So right now, Hell or High Water's got 7.7 on IMDb.
Kind of low for me.
I agree.
We don't give out 10s very often, but I would go a 9 minimum on this.
Did
you go an 8?
No lower than 8. I'm just debating how much I want to... I mean, I just again, try to be spare with those 9s and 10s, but I definitely 8 at the very, very lowest.
A minimum, I personally, I would go 9, but I'd be okay with an 8.
Well,
I would be. I won't argue with an 8, but I would
definitely go higher than 9, because it loses a star for fucking up that soliloquy about halfway through.
I think we've only ever given a 10 twice, and I think that was for The Revenant. And I want to say it was also for Nightcrawler. I believe those are the only 10s we ever gave.
If we gave Nightcrawler a 10, I'll give this a 9.
Okay.
This is a film I would recommend to anybody. I may go back and make Holly watch it. Just a great fucking movie.
It is a great
I'm going to say 9, yeah.
Okay, cool.
There was a problem. Don't say there was a problem. Fucking rate it for me, bitch.
Just fucking do it, motherfucker.
All right. And I want to see the demographics on this.
Yeah, 7.7.
Right.
It's probably going to be weird. Horseshoe on this one.
No, not really. 8's the highest rating. It's not a.
Yeah. Okay.
But like 0.5% gave it 1 star.
Those people are stupid.
Yeah, just idiots.
14 IMDb staff. I know you haven't gotten that far yet, but.
Yeah. Highest demographic. Males under 18, 8.3, and females under 18, 8.2. Lowest demographic is your wife.
She thought it was better than 7.6.
7.5. She's a female.
You're in the...
Females aged 30 to 44.
Oh, there it is. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was looking at
I know how old your wife is.
Okay, good.
Okay. And then our demographic is a little bit higher. Really, across the board, 7 and 8 average.
Yeah.
This is just a great film. You can just tell. The 36% of people gave it. The majority of it, it's just fucking great. It's not one of those films where like everybody rated it a 10 or a 1. It's like everybody rated it 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, and
it's just
not that we won't be as lucky next week, but I don't know. Next week we are reviewing. I actually have our schedule, but I'll only reveal what we're reviewing next week.
Okay.
Because things could change up. Next week, what we have planned is to review Arrival and Hidden Figures. Now, as I mentioned in the Oscar nomination show, Hidden Figures, by 2 people already, told me that it was above and beyond one of the best films they saw in 2016.
All right. Okay. All right.
So,
all right.
and again, I
Forget
take that
you heard
with
that. Please forget you
I
heard
take that with a huge grain of salt. It makes me actually think the other way.
All right. I'm going to give you my point of view. I went into this film saying, you know what? I've seen Contact, and I really haven't even seen Contact. I never watched it beginning to end.
I actually was dragged to a movie theater to see that.
It was like, it's like this film is nothing for me. Yeah, sci-fi. Ooh, there's an alien. Whatever. Went into the film just not caring. My expectations were low, and they were raised by the film.
Okay.
So take that. Don't go in there with best film I've seen all year. That shit will destroy you.
Oh, of course. I agree.
Just go in knowing that I actually liked it. That's all I'll say.
Well, I'm saying that about Hidden Figures, not Arrival. I mean, the trailers for Arrival and the little TV spots are saying one of the best movies ever made, and this movie is so good, and there's a lot of hype behind that.
Yeah, they said that shit about The Martian.
I like The Martian.
Yeah, but it wasn't an Oscar film. We agreed on that.
No, of course. But I'm going blind into every single one of these movies.
Yeah, I went in blind.
I know the general consensus of what each film is supposed to. It's like, okay, Hacksaw Ridge is a war movie. La La Land is a musical, so on and so forth.
No, let me put it this way. Again, I'm feeling very positive this year. We're doing Arrival and Hidden Figures.
Next week, yes.
Yeah, again, another double entendre title. I feel positive that next week we'll have some positive reviews. I don't foresee myself being negative on either of these films.
Okay.
I'm feeling good about it.
Good.
Like I said, the only film that's given me any pause is La La Land.
Yeah, because I'm not very partial to musicals. I never have been. I remember in grammar school, every fucking year I was forced to watch fucking Oliver.
I like Oliver. That's one of the few musicals I do like.
Dude, but every year in music class for like 5 straight...
by this beautiful morning.
5 straight fucking years I was made to watch that movie. And 1 year, I moved from Belleville to Bloomfield. I watched it twice. It's like, enough.
I'm reviewing the situation.
But, even back then, I remember asking to go to the bathroom more times than I actually had to go. And I'd see the music teacher just be like with this, I was like, oh. It's like, dude, I don't like this shit. And I never really have liked musicals.
No, I could, on one hand, I could count off all the musicals I like. And we've been through that in past episodes, especially when we reviewed Les Mis. Les Miserables.
Les Miserables.
Les Miserables, which I actually liked.
I think that had I think that had a lot to do with the fact that all the singing in the film was organic. It just, it just was better.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I hated the story. I thought the story was stupid, but I actually liked the direction and the music and like the acting. I thought that was the good part of the film. Mm-hmm. I thought the storyline itself was just that typical bullshit nonsense that they like, just a coincidental farce, garbage. but the performances I thought were great. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so La La Land's definitely going to be a struggle for me. But again, I actually enjoyed Les Miserables when we watched it. So there's room for surprise.
Definitely.
Feeling very positive about this year.
Yeah. I don't
After
think
last year, we need it.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. The whole list, I look at the whole list and I'm just like, you know what? The one that I want to watch the least is La La Land. Definitely.
Yeah.
You
Maybe,
nailed
maybe
that one.
tied with Moonlight and Lion. I don't.
No, I kind of like. I kind of dig the urban films.
I don't care about a kid growing up in any environment. Sorry, that's just me. I really could care less.
Yeah, well, and that's fine.
This whole follow it from boyhood to adulthood. Don't give a shit.
Uh,
You know what? I did one of those. I saw it. I'm good. Your experience may vary.
yeah, well, this no, we both hated Boyhood. That
No,
was
I meant
last.
life
That,
in general. But
oh.
yeah, no, Boyhood sucked.
that was last year's Oscars, right? Boyhood. Pretty sure
the
that
year
was.
before. I want to say.
I thought it was 2015.
No, I don't think so.
You sure? I thought
I'm not sure. That's why I said I don't think
I
so.
thought Boyhood was 2015. I'll look.
I
real
didn't
quick.
say I know. I said I'm not sure. 2014.
It is.
I was right.
What the fuck was last year then?
Not Boyhood.
Obviously.
They all blur. I've lost all sense of time. I can't tell you last year from 5 years ago. It's all a blur now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, last year was Bridge of Spies, Mad Max, The Revenant, Spotlight, The Martian, Big Short, Room, Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Yeah.
Brooklyn.
Big
Ugh.
Short, Mad Max, Revenant. That's it.
Read those titles off again real quick. I just want to
Bridge of Spies,
grab.
Mad Max Fury Road,
Great.
The Revenant,
Great.
the winner of Best Picture, Spotlight, mediocre at best, and
Yeah.
formulaic.
Right.
The Martian,
Eh.
I liked it, but you're right,
Not an Oscar
not Oscar. The Big Short, great. Room, which I did like Room,
I'll give it to you. Yeah.
and Brooklyn.
There. Yeah. 50-50. I think this year might be better than 50-50.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. What was 2015?
And we can't do 50-50 because there's 9 films. So, but I think it'll be like, I think it's going to be a bit heavy on the good stuff.
Yeah. 2015 nominations. Oh, that's right. American Sniper. American Sniper, Boyhood, Grand Budapest Hotel, great movie.
Great.
Birdman,
Great.
Imitation Game. Okay. It was okay.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. I'll give that to you.
Selma. Theory of Everything. Whiplash.
Great.
Great.
I'm putting Selma in the one just because.
Definitely.
So that's 50-50 too.
It's no, it's not. It's Birdman, Grand Budapest, and Whiplash.
And
But Imitation
I
Game.
gave you
Okay.
the Imitation Game.
Okay, Imitation Game. It was okay.
If between Imitation Game and Selma, one.
You go Imitation Game, of course.
Yeah, you could almost that again.
But you know what? These are the Best Picture nominees. They should all be great.
That's the point, and that's why they have more than 5 now, so they can mix them up. Let's be now we.
But
every Oscars
something
we
told me, for whatever reason, that in the past when it was 5, they did a better job picking. I mean, we don't have time to go through it because we need to end the show. But I think if we went through the years but when it was just 5, I bet you they did a much better job at picking the 5 than they do now that you can have up to 10.
But the problem was, one, if they had to get something in there for a reason other than it was actually great, it was too obvious. And then if they let something out, remember the whole fiasco over Basketball Diaries?
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, so like, oh Jesus, fuck, we gotta. So just to get rid of that, that's the main reason they did this. Like, and again, the year Avatar, they had to get Avatar in there, but it's like if they knew if they didn't put it in, they get flack, and if they put it in and pushed out another good film, they get flack. So fuck it, let's just make it 10.
Yeah,
there's a cop out. It's they raised the bar or lowered the bar. Sorry, they ran into the bar.
It just I always felt that it was. I always felt that when it was 5, it was, the selection was better, and it just felt it was a tighter race, and it just felt when Best Picture was picked, sometime, not all the time as well, it just felt like, okay, they're picking that out of these 5. I can see why they picked it. There was a lot of times when they picked Best Picture when it was only 5. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? Mm. Like the year Crash won, I didn't think it was going to win. That was my favorite film that year. I thought it was going to go to, like, I don't even remember what was nominated that year, but it was like, it's going to go to one of these other fucking shitty movies. And it was like, holy shit, it actually won. That's the year they split director and picture. But anyhow. All right. So let's go ahead and end this. We need to end the show.
Yes. Now we did have we have an audio from Gino.
Mm-hmm.
A voicemail from him. But we're already running way long. And I'm like losing consciousness here.
Right. And now, the voicemail is pushing 6 minutes.
Yeah. Now, Gino's going to be joining us for one of the episodes, the Oscars. I'm trying to line up some guest reviewers to join us for some of these Oscar shows. So Gino's going to be joining us for one of those on a film yet to be chosen.
Right.
But what I'd like to do is, let's just say that no matter what, at the opening of our next show, before we review The Arrival, we're going to play his voicemail. And
yeah, we're going to do it in the beginning.
Right. And if you get a chance, go to Gino. Gino has a podcast of his own called the New Cult Movie Podcast. You can find it on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and do a search for Gino Cuddy Cult.
Yeah, come right
Gino
up.
is also starting his own cult. He's taking applications. A knowledge of Gulliver's Travels films and
Wheeler and Woolsey?
Silent German films.
Is it Woolsey?
What?
Wheeler and Woolsey or Woolley? I don't know. Gino knows this shit. I don't know this shit. He's yelling into like this.
He's like,
his
God damn
screen
it.
at this point.
So you don't have to join the cult to watch the New Cult Movie Podcast, but one might precede the other. So if you get a chance, check him out on YouTube, please, and he will be joining us on a podcast as well as some of our other listeners that have been in touch with us. I'm going to be dragging them in to get their insight on some of these films.
Can't wait. Should be fun.
It's Wheeler and Woolsey.
Woolsey, not Woolsey. Well, it's my Jersey. It's my Jersey accent. Woolsey.
Woolsey.
Nork. All right. Anyway, let's go ahead and end this.
Okay.
This is episode 229 of Moviesucktastic. Again, as always, thank you for joining us. Make sure you go to our website at Moviesucktastic.com. Download all the shows there. Listen to the shows there. Tune in live every Thursday at 8 p.m. and watch and hang out with us. Join the chat room. We always monitor it. If you're in there and you say some cool stuff, we'll say what you're saying. We'll be your voices. You can go to our iTunes page, Moviesucktastic there, and you can download the show or listen to the show there as well. If you go there, make sure you leave us a review. We always appreciate it. You can go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Moviesucktastic. Everything that we do, we put there, trailers, news, whatever we're doing, the movies we're going to review, things like that. You can go to our Tumblr page at Moviesucktastic.tumblr.com. Scott updates that on a regular basis. If you want to leave us an email, it's themovieguys@Moviesucktastic.com. If you want to leave us voicemail, it's 908-514-4470. And also, please download the free Android app for your smartphone, tablet, or whatever device you're using. There's a mobile version of that as well for you iPhone users. And everything I just talked about is in there. It's 100% free. Highly recommend it. Just go out and get it. So that about does it. Do you have any words of wisdom, Mr. Wilson?
What don't you want?
All right. We'll talk to you next week.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.